All right, 3 in a row. So now I'm gonna do a little bit more normal video. So now I'm talking about Dustin's interview, and I'm now to my third video talking about Dustin's interview, where all he really said is he wants to win the undisputed championship before he retires. Okay, so this is the one about Conor. Okay, now does Conor deserve a title shot right now? Because he's getting the next one, right? Plain and simple, Conor's getting the next title shot. So the question is, does he deserve it? And I can make an argument either way. I mean, candidly, like I literally could do this video like both ways. Plain and simple. So you know what? That's exactly what I'm going to do. So we're going to start off with Conor does not earn the title shot, and then I'll do the back half with he does. Because, I mean, I say he does, and I'm most excited to see him fight. But, I mean, there will be people who disagree. So let me go ahead and I'll just get that out of the way right now, okay? So plain and simple, Conor has 2 fights at 155 pounds, okay? Total. Right? Total 155-pound fights, 2, right? He came up. He was supposed to fight at 155 pounds against Rafael dos Anjos. I think everybody could pretty much say confidently he probably would have won that fight. But then when he dropped out, he fought Nate Diaz. He fights Nate Diaz again. Then he fights at 155, beats Eddie Alvarez for the title in one of the most dominant performances ever, right? I mean, so the 2 times that he won belts, think about this, okay? The 2 times that he won belts, he knocked out Jose Aldo, who hadn't lost in 11 years, in 13 seconds. By the way, I saw him talk about this on the Tony Robbins interview, and he said that, you know, getting inside of his opponent's head about Aldo, he's like, he was 28 years old and I convinced him that he was an old man. I was like, fuck, dude. That is, like I said, dude, he gets inside their head and then fucks them from the inside out. Like, he convinced Jose Aldo at age 28 that he was an old man. Think about that. So 13 seconds, knockout. Then he goes and he fights Eddie Alvarez, who was very confident. Eddie Alvarez was not mind-fucked at all, and he obliterated him. Picked him apart like he was an amateur fighter. Watch, I cannot express to you how much you guys should watch that fight, because Eddie Alvarez is a beast, and Conor made him look like a fucking amateur. But, I mean, Jesus, it's 2016, right? It's 2016. Then he went and fought Mayweather. Awesome. But then he came back and he fought Khabib and he got smashed. And then he fought Cowboy at 170. I mean, listen, if you want, if you really, like, if he thought it mattered, or if Dana told him that it mattered, then he should have had to fight Cowboy at 155. I mean, it's as simple as that. Now, does knocking out Cowboy give you an automatic title shot? Maybe. If you're Conor, it does, right? If you were the former champion, you lost to the current champion, then you came back and you fought a guy who's in the top 5 and you knocked him out in 40 seconds. I mean, and you're the biggest draw in the sport. I mean, tough to argue with. There's the only reason there would be any argument is because of how stacked the division is, right? So if it was anybody but Conor, I would say he should have to fight one more, whether it be Poirier, Ferguson, Poirier or Ferguson. I mean, because Gaethje's fighting for the title, so like the only possible scenario you'd have is him fight either Ferguson or Poirier. And aside from those guys, there's no one else in the conversation. So, but I would say for sure, if it's anybody but Conor, he would have to fight someone else. But it's not. It's Conor, and he's the biggest draw in the sport. And to act as though a win over Cowboy like doesn't mean anything is ridiculous. Okay, yes. Cowboy is an easy matchup for Conor stylistically, but Cowboy has lost to, now the Anthony Pettis fight could have easily gone his way. Matter of fact, we're just going to call that a draw. Okay, he didn't lose to Anthony Pettis. That's a fucking draw. He lost to Tony Ferguson. Okay, he had won a few in a row before that, or at least 2 in a row. Then he lost to Ferguson, who's Tony Ferguson. Then he lost to Justin Gaethje, who was fucking Justin Gaethje. And then that's it. Those are the 2 guys he lost to, right? Justin Gaethje and Tony Ferguson, who are murder machines. And who made the quickest work of Cowboy? Like, who made Cowboy look like he was in a completely different league? Conor. I mean, literally, like he walked through Cowboy like Cowboy did not exist. No one else did that, right? Ferguson did what Ferguson does. He took his shots and he beat him up and ended up breaking his orbital bone, right? I mean, that's basically that's Ferguson's MO. Gaethje knocked him out, but, it's not like Cowboy had nothing for him. It just, and then towards the back half of the round, he clipped him. Conor made it seem like Cowboy was literally a non-opponent. I mean, honestly, just an absolute non-opponent, which is amazing. So, you know, again, you guys know what I think. I think Conor should fight for the title, and that's because, I mean, I'm talking even outside of just the business standpoint. It's either him, Ferguson, or Poirier. Ferguson just lost to Gaethje. Conor already knocked Poirier out in 90 seconds. Think about that, dude. And that's the other thing. Think about that, dude. Poirier, you guys have seen now what kind of chin Poirier has. Look at his fight against Holloway. Look at his fight against Gaethje. Look at his fight against Hooker. Look at his other fight against Alvarez. I mean, Jesus. Honestly, look at that. His 2 fights against Alvarez, Max Holloway, Hooker, Gaethje. Look at his chin in those fights. Conor knocked him cold in 90 seconds. Think about that, okay? Conor is a different level, dude. People do not understand because they still think about, oh, well, you know, when he got taken down by Khabib, he got taken down by Mendez, and then Nate Diaz is inhuman, and he also was fighting him at 170. Like, Conor is again, I've said it before, he's the most dominant fighter on his feet ever, as far as I'm concerned. But Khabib is the most dominant fighter on the ground ever, and that certainly was the more dominant style when they got matched up. So I cannot wait to see them fight again. But I really hope that Gaethje beats Khabib, only because I want to see Conor fight Gaethje, and then I want to see Khabib fight Conor when Conor has the belt. It's like the best case scenario ever. And also, in that case, you know, maybe Khabib and Ferguson finally fight. Although I'm afraid like we might get hit by a fucking asteroid or something if we try to set that goddamn fight up again. Anyway, this is a shorter video. This is what I got. So subscribe to the channel, ring the bell. Happy 4th of July. Let's go.